Today I'll take on a very popular casting. Don't go away. Hello everyone and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. In 1970, Mattel released the Spoilers collection of Redline Hot Wheels. Touted as souped-up super rods, the Spoiler collection is hugely popular today. The series included the TNT Bird, Light My Firebird, King Cuda Heavy Chevy, and the Mustang Boss Hoss. Today I'll be restoring a worn-out Heavy Chevy, a favorite from the series. If you think back a year ago, you'll remember I did a Light My Firebird for the Paint It Pink challenge. Today I'm going to be restoring a worn-out Heavy Chevy, which is a favorite of the series. I of course start by taking the casting apart. The bad part of these cars is the engine. It's a separate piece with its own post, which is tough to get off the casting. It's tough to drill out for reassembly. It's just really kind of a pain. I hate it. The car has great dimples around the post, which make it a great candidate for shielded drilling. These Vix Bits are great for this hobby. I'm going to put a link to them down in the description below. With the car mostly apart, I can see the destroyed windshield. No saving this one. It's for the junk heap. I'll have to replace it. Now I can go ahead and drill out the motor and get that off of the casting. As I mentioned, the engine can always be a bit of a challenge. So to get this off the body, I'm going to use my spring-loaded center punch to help knock it loose. Now I'll use the Vix Bits again and clean up the body posts and the posts on the motor to make them easier to drill out later. I found a dot of oil makes drilling the posts go faster and smoother, so it is now a part of my regular routine. I'll drill out the posts, and then I'll tap them. Once the posts are all tapped out and everything's ready to go, I can now take the car to the warm liquid goo phase. Plop plop, fizz fizz, into the warm liquid goo goes the body. Unless I find myself behind during a build, I'm really never in a big rush, so I'll leave this for over a day, and after that day in the goo, I can then go back and pull the body from the jar. Citrus Strip works surprisingly well. Once the casting is out of the goo, I can take the body for a quick wash, and then I'll get a look at what I'm dealing with. I'm back from the sink and I can now get a look at what's going on. And the body's not terrible. It's not damaged in any real significant way, but it is going to need quite a bit of work with sanding sponges, steel wool, brass bristle brush, you know, the whole drill. Safety first. While you don't have to use the hardener with this paint, I always do, and I highly suggest you do too. It will give you a much more resilient finish. I do my tack coat first. Some go heavier than I do for the tack coat, but for me, I only want just the barest hint of color. The second coat is barely a bit darker, and then I work my way up through the medium coats, and I'll stop with the medium coats about 2 shades before I get to where I want to be. I'll cover those 2 shades with the last couple of coats where I'm trying to get a great, wet, smooth, glossy finish. Some of you guys don't clear coat Spectraflame, and that's fine. You don't have to. But I love the depth it gives. So I use Brightvision's clear to make my paint job just be over the top. I really love the look. I'm frankly addicted to the clear coat. After allowing the car some extended drying time, I masked off the roof for a magic black paint job. Despite having clear markings on the body, the Heavy Chevy had stripes, not a black roof. But I think this is going to look great, so after masking it, it is back to the paint booth. I get the Magic Black from the Redline Shop, and it really is great for vinyl tops, and it goes on super easy. As always, as soon as I'm done cleaning up, the tape comes off immediately. And then I get a chance to see how everything is looking. Right now, I think it's looking pretty darn good, and I can't wait to put this one back together. I'm just going to clean up the body a little bit using a moistened Q-tip, and then I can go ahead and move on. The base only has some light tarnish, so I can clean it up with the Lime Away and water mix. After a short bath, I take it for a rinse, and then I'll give it some work with the favorite brass bristle brush, steel wool, and the flits. Hey, now the base looks like new. Since I have everything out already, this is the perfect time to shine up the engine. Sometimes I detail these engines out, but today I think just a good polish is going to do the trick. I know some of you cringe when I cut the wheels off, but I have a big old bag of old wheels. They're disasters, and I'm not using them for anything. The new ones are so perfect, there's just no reason in my mind for me not to replace them. And this keeps me from taking any chance of damaging my hubs. I cut the old ones off, and then I can give the base some new shoes. After getting the old wheels cut off, I noticed a few spots on the base I wasn't happy with, so I turned back to my rotary tool, and I'm going to fix that before I put the new wheels on. Since I have the base in my hand, I might as well go ahead and put the Renaissance wax on. This is a museum-grade crystalline wax that they used to protect the finish on jewelry and coins and other kinds of artifacts in museums. I use it mainly in my coin rings, but I found that it works great for protecting polished bases. And as long as I'm sidetracked and not putting my wheels on yet, I realize I haven't dipped the windshield in gauzy yet, so I might as well do that now too. Sometimes I just kind of wing things, you know, I have a plan on how I want things to go and they just don't go that way, for whatever reason. Hey, bottom line is, it gets done. So I can finally get to the wheels. Yes, I will be using chrome deep dish wheels. I'm going to use the large wheels in the back and mediums in the front. This is one place in my restos where I never worry about what is supposed to be there. I go with what I like. When putting the new wheels on, as always, I lightly press them on, then I back them up with the alignment tool so that I can press them on the rest of the way. This makes sure they're equally pressed on and helps protect the hubs. It looks like I'm finally at the best part of every build, reassembly. I'm going to start by putting the motor back in place and screwing it to the body. The glass is dry and looks amazing, so I'll put it on the interior and I can drop them in, and then I can finally screw the base back on. There is nothing that feels better than this point right here of any build when you put those screws in. Alright, so the car is together, I'm feeling great, and all that's left is a bit of detail painting, and then I can finally call this one done. I think the build came out great, and I hope you loved the project and the video. Well, there it is, my Heavy Chevy. It was super fun and I'm excited to add this one to my collection. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe and be sure to click the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. Never forget that out of the ashes, beauty rises. Until next time, this is Paul saying be good.